What's going on, everyone? It's time for a slasher film review today. It's been a while since I did a slasher film, so yeah, today we're going to talk about an indie film called Pelt. It was released by Replastic Films sometime in 2010. It was produced by Brian Gork, written by Oscar Gomez, and co-written and directed by Richard Swindle, who also did films like Lori Deadly Obsession, Gretchen Warden, The Mutter Museum, and Woman on Death Row 3, Woman on Death Row 4, Woman on Death Row 5. Yeah, so, yeah, Pelt is a slasher film. It's pretty much a wrong turn knockoff. It came out a couple years after when the sequels are starting to come out. I guess people want to capitalize on it. But basically, a group of friends go on a camping trip and they meet this one odd guy, and he goes with them and he tells them this weird story about these hillbilly immigrant family tortures live out in the woods. They don't believe it, but sure enough, there's someone out lurking out there picking them off. So yeah, and so this was an amusing little slasher film. I was actually pretty surprised with this. I've seen this one before, but I never talked about it yet. So this is my second time actually seeing this. And yeah, this is a micro budget slasher film, but the acting is really good in this film. When it was good, and the cinematography is not too bad too for the low budget and stuff. But yeah. Um, but as the film, it takes a while for the film to get started. The first 15 minutes are super boring and stupid. Starts off at a bar, and they obviously put in some like a red herring there, but you could clearly tell it's a red herring and it's not going to happen. Yeah, and then as the film progresses, they go through your typical slasher tropes, getting stuck in the woods on a camping trip. Um, some go off, get picked off, and things like that. But yeah, this is more of a slasher thriller, I'd say, than a slasher horror film. So when I classify slashers, slasher horror film is like where the person's masked, you don't know who it is, and it's just like an enigma almost, and you sort of like the first couple like Halloween movies and stuff, like you know they have a name, but like you never seen their faces and stuff. This one they show the face and stuff, so it's more of a thriller or a slasher thriller than a horror film, but in my opinion. Um, but yeah, as the film progresses, there is quite a bit of comic relief coming by this one black guy in it, and he's really funny. Sets the mood way different than I was expecting in this film. And it goes on, and when you think he's done, he's not, and he's definitely one of the sole good aspects of this film. And yeah, but as the killing starts, it's very sparse in between, and yeah, with the filler of his comedic stuff, it was pretty good. But yeah, the fight scenes and stuff were stereotypical. The special gore effects and stuff were okay, and the whole film though was pretty slow and pretty dull. Not much really happens. This is more of like you like wrong turn, but you don't like gore or how violent it is. This would be like a good alternative. But for the most part, I thought it was still a pretty dull but amusing slasher film. It's definitely not that great, but I still thought it was an amusing watch. It does take a while for it to start, but once it does, and it has one of the better endings in a slasher film than I do. It's not your typical Hollywood style happy ending. It's a very aggressive way to end a film, which I like to see that in these type of movies, which puts it higher up on the slasher tier for me. But yeah, but it's still pretty dull. So I'm gonna give Pelt a 2.5, middle of the road, for a rating because I think that suits it well. It's not like super fantastic or anything, but it's definitely a little underrated, I think. So you should definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. And if this sounds like something you're interested in, the trailer's linked down below. So if you want to check that out, yeah, that's linked down below. Also, make sure you check out my channel. It's always linked down below. That's where I post clips of films I'm going to review in the future on my story. You should have the film title and hashtag and subject on film and the hashtag so you're aware of it. And my Letterbox is also linked down below at Derek P Reviews. That's where I post my first star rating right after watching the films. So follow me on one of those two platforms. Stay in loop with this channel. Like this video. Share it so more people are aware of it. Comment your opinions of the film down below if you have any. And also if you have any films or film franchises I want to hear my opinions on in any genre in the future, comment those down below. I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can, and if I can find them. Don't forget to subscribe, because hopefully we find something weird, obscure, and all that you probably never thought of checking out. Somewhat like this together, and also so you hear my opinions on classic films, new films coming out, and other things as well. So make sure you subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell, because I got an interesting creature feature to talk about called Dogman next. So we'll continue on with that for the next review. But yeah, Pelt was an alright slasher film. It was better than I was expecting it to be, and boy, I was not expecting how funny it was, but that definitely made the movie. So check it out if it sounds interesting to you, and watch out for all those crazy hillbillies out there causing havoc in our forest, and I guess I'll see you all in the next review. So until then, cheers.